Hello everyone. Today we will start with the revision of chapter capital gain. Section 45 subsection 1 is charging section. Any profit or gain arising from the transfer of a capital assets affected in the previous year will be chargeable to income tax under the head capital gain in the previous year in which the transfer took place. Exceptions where the capital gain is not taxable in the year of transfer. There are 7 exceptions. First one is the insurance receipt. Second, unit linked insurance policy receipt. Third, conversion or treatment of a capital assets as a stock in trade. Fourth, introduction of capital assets as a capital contribution. Fifth, receipt of money or capital asset or stock in trade by a partner or a member on dissolution of or reconstitutions of firm, AOP or BOI. Sixth, compensation on compulsory acquisition. And seventh, taxability of capital gain in case of specified agreement. First is insurance receipt, section 45, subsection 1A. Money or other assets received under an insurance on account of damage, destructions of any capital assets will be chargeable to tax in the previous year in which such money or other assets is received. Deemed full value of consideration for calculating capital gain is the value of money or the fair market value of other assets on the date of receipt. Second is unit linked insurance policy receipt, section 45, subsection 1b. If the policy taken before 1st February 2021 and if the premium exceed 10%, 15% or 20% of sum assured, then taxable under the head other sources. And if premium doesn't exceed 10%, 15% or 20% of sum assured, then exempt under section 10 subsection 10d. If the policy taken on or after 1st February 2021 and if the premium doesn't exceed 2,50,000 in any previous year during the terms of policy, then we'll check does the premium exceed 10%, 15% or 20% of sum assured. If yes, then taxable under the head other sources. If no, then exempt under section 10 subsection 10d. If the premium or aggregate of premium exceed 2,50,000 in any previous year during the terms of policy, single ULIP, such ULIP will be taxable as a capital assets. Capital gain on maturity will be taxable under section 112A. Capital gain is equal to maturity proceed minus aggregate of the premium paid during the terms of policy. And if multiple ULIP, then exemption can be claimed in respect of those ULIP at the option of the assessee whose aggregate premium payable doesn't exceed 2,50,000 and where premium does not exceed 10% of SA. Remaining ULIP would be taxable under section 112A. Third, conversion of treatment of a capital assets as a stock in trade. Section 45, subsection 2. If there is a capital gain, then manner of computation of capital gain is fair market value on the date of conversion less cost or indexed cost of acquisition or improvement. Indexation benefit would be considered in relation to the year of conversion of capital assets into stock in trade. And if the business income, then sale price of stock in trade less fair market value on the date of conversion. Fourth, introduction of capital assets as a capital contribution. Transfer of a capital assets as a capital contribution or otherwise by a partner in a firm, AOP or BI will be chargeable to tax in the previous year in which such transfer took place. Deemed full value of consideration for computing capital gain is equal to amount recorded in the books of accounts of the firm, AOP or BI as the value of capital assets. Then tax implications on receipt of money or capital assets or stock in trade by a partner or a firm member on dissolution or reconstitution of firm, AOP BOI section 9b and section 45 subsection 4. In case of dissolution of firm, AOP BOI, then implication of section 9b is deemed transfer in the hand of firm, AOP BOI and taxable in the year in which assets is received by the partner or member. Full value of consideration. If it is a stock in trade, then fair market value of stock in trade on the date of receipt by partner or member shall be deemed to be full value of consideration. And if it is a capital asset, then fair market value of the capital assets on the date of receipt by partner or member shall be deemed to be full value of consideration. Chargeability under, if there is a stock in trade, then it is chargeable to tax under the head PGBP, and if it is capital assets, then it will be chargeable to tax in the head of capital gain. In case of reconstitutions of firm AOP BOI, implication of section 9B, deemed transfer in the hand of firm AOP BOI or taxable in the year in which the asset is received by the partner or member. Stock in trade, if then full value of consideration is fair market value of the stock in trade on the date of receipt by partner or member shall be deemed to be full value of consideration. And if it is a capital assets, then full value of consideration will be fair market value of the capital assets on the date of receipt by partner or member shall be deemed to be full value of consideration. And compensation on compulsory acquisition, section 45, subsection 5. Compensation on compulsory acquisition is chargeable in the year in which it was first received, and enhanced compensation is chargeable in the year in which it is received from government and cost of acquisition would be nil. Compensation due to interim order is chargeable to tax in the year in which the final order is met. Taxability of capital gains in case of a specified agreement, section 45, section 5A. Individual HUF entering into specified agreement for development of project. First, we will check is the individual or HUF transferring his shares in the project after the date of issue of completion certificate. If yes, then capital gain tax liability would arise in the previous year in which the certificate of completion for full or part of the project is issued by the competent authority. Fair value of consideration will be stamp duty value of his share on the date of issue of certificate of completion plus consideration in cash or check or draft or any other mode. Full value of consideration deemed to be the cost of acquisition for determining capital gain on subsequent sale of shares of developed property. If no, then is the individual or HUF transferring his share in the project on or before the date of issue of completion certificate? If yes, then capital gain tax liability would arise in the previous year in which the property is handed over to the developer. Meaning of capital assets. As per section 2 subsection 14, capital assets is the property of any kind held by the assessee whether or not connected with his business or profession. Any securities held by a FII which has invested in such securities as per SEBI regulation, a ULIP which is issued on or after 1st February 2021 to which exemption under section 10 subsection 10D doesn't apply on account of premium payable exceeding 2,50,000 for any of the previous year during the terms of such policy. In a case where premium is payable on for more than one ULIP issued on or after 1st February 2021 and the aggregate of premium payable on such ULIP is greater than 2,50,000 for any of the previous year during the terms of any such ULIP, then exemption under section 10(10)(d) would be available in respect of any of the ULIP at the option of the assessee whose aggregate premium payable doesn't exceed 2,50,000 for any of the previous year during their term. All other ULIP would be capital assets.